Hello, this is Chris from Those Film Guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, then just hi, I guess. I just wanted to do a bit of an update as to what's going on with the channel, where some of the videos are at. The final two parts of the Lord of the Rings and Unexpected Marathon. I have almost finished completion on the Two Towers review. I have yet to start the Return of the King one. I should get those finished within the week or so. You know, life gets in the way and I got sidetracked on them, but they will be with you in the week at least. As for the Hobbit review, Tom's had to get his laptop fixed, so it's been up in the air a bit with when we were recording it, but now he's got it fixed. We should either be recording it Wednesday this week or Thursday at the very latest, so hopefully we can get that done and that I can get that to you within the week as well. But the main point of this video, I really wanted to just go over some of the stuff I got for Christmas. Mostly DVDs, a few games. I've got a stack of films that I've never watched before. Before I get onto them, please don't lynch me or anything for not seeing these films. I'm aware that these films are huge and that they have to be seen, but they're just films that I personally haven't got round to watching. So I've also got a stack of films that I have watched and I really like, but I didn't own in my DVD collection, so let's crack on with it. Right, first off with DVDs that I have seen. The Breakfast Club. I actually watched this film again today, and you know, just great film. I'm a huge fan of the 80s, and you know, this is one of the best John Hughes. Great film. I got the Casino Royale 3-disc deluxe edition. I own this film on 2-disc edition, but I saw this and I thought, I like my extra disc editions. If you don't know already, I'm a huge fan of getting the ultimate cuts or as many discs as possible. So I saw this and thought I had to get it. It's my favorite. I'm not a big James Bond fan, but it probably is my favourite. Certainly my favourite of the three Daniel Craig ones. So yeah, got that. The Mad Max trilogy. Now, I remember watching this when I was really, really young, like about, I don't know, 11 perhaps, and I remember really, really enjoying it. I loved the first Mad Max, and I think, it's as I say, it's been years and years since I watched them, so I'm looking forward to watching them back. I think Mad Max 2 was my favourite one. I remember not liking Thunderdome very much, because I just remember it being, even back then, I thought it was too kiddie from the tone it set with the first two. So, hey, maybe on reflection, I'll like all three, but we'll find out. One of my personal favourites, Cobra, Sylvester Stallone. I'm a big fan of the 80s action films, you know, Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and this film is just a great, loud, dumb action film. It's actually got a really, really good soundtrack again. 80s music, anything to do with the 80s I love. And I don't know if you can see with the camera, but you can just tell it all from that tagline, crime is a disease, meet the cure. And, you know, Stallone action movie, what more could you ask for? Predator. Again, I love this film. Schwarzenegger's brilliant in it. It's just hilariously over the top with the action. I'm not a big fan of the Predator series, I have to say. I watched Predator 2 and really, really didn't like that, and the less said about Alien versus Predator, the better. So, but Predator is amazing, and finally got this in my DVD collection, so happy about that. One that you might not, a lot of you probably won't be aware of, Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. It's a BBC British comedy series starring Rick Mayall, Ade Edmondson and Nigel Planer. Brilliant comedy. You know, if any of you are familiar with the TV, you're probably not, but the TV series Bottom or The Young Ones. Yeah, this was made in between, and I really like it. I actually hadn't seen this before today, but I got round to watching it, and that's The Raid. I heard a lot of good reviews about this film, actually, praising it as like one of the best action movies ever made. Some that it is the best action movie ever made. Is it? In my opinion, no. But, you know, the action scenes that are in it are brilliant. It's a lot of hand-to-hand martial arts style fighting. A lot of shooting as well. Yeah, it was a good film. I wouldn't rave over it. I wouldn't go out of my way and watch it over and over again, but I'd probably fast forward to the action scenes and just watch those back. There's a lot of downtime in this film. I think that this film should have just gone all out and just been action all the way through. But yeah, it was okay. The Raid. Highlander. I watched this as well today. I've watched it before. Great movie. The soundtrack alone, Queen do most of the music in it, and it's just a great. I really enjoyed the story, and the soundtrack's phenomenal. 80s movie again. So, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I own this on video. It's kind of one of those double, I don't know if any of you had this back in the day, kind of double feature VHS, both films on one tape. Didn't get it on DVD, so now I finally have it. Review, it's Ghostbusters, it's awesome. And finally, of the ones I've seen that I had to get, Scarface. I saw this recently, actually. I thought it was okay. Maybe on another viewing I'll like it more. Great soundtrack, and Pacino is one of my favourite actors. He's amazing in this film. Probably one of his most well-known as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this again to see if my views change on it all. Right, now we get to the stack of DVDs that I haven't seen. Again, please don't get aggressive in the comments that how can you review films if you've never seen these films. I'm getting round to it, okay? There's a lot to watch here. Okay, so first we've got the Ultimate Director's Cut of The Warriors. I've actually watched a Let's Play of the video game, and I thought it looked pretty good. The story, and I was aware of it, there was a film, and yeah, it looks like my kind of film. I haven't got round to watching it yet, but I will definitely watch that. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Blade Runner, the final cut. Tom has recommended that I get the final cut. He has seen all three, because I think there's a theatrical cut which wasn't really what Ridley Scott intended it to be. Then there was the director's cut, which apparently still wasn't what he intended it to be. And this is the final cut, so this is the definitive version of the film. Sci-fi starring Harrison Ford. Really looking forward to watching this, actually. I've heard it's one of the best sci-fis ever made, and I'm a big fan of sci-fi. In the TV department, I've got Band of Brothers. I think the series is quite old now, actually. I've got a friend who once owned it, and that was like over 10 years ago. Really looking forward to watching this. I'm a big fan of like historical series, and you can't go wrong with HBO. Yeah, I've heard great things about this show, so definitely want to watch. Now this is kind of a mixed bag, because I've seen some of the films on, well, 2 of the films on this list, I'm ashamed to say. I've got the Stanley Kubrick collection, which comes with the films Lolita, 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, and Eyes Wide Shut. I've seen Clockwork Orange and I've seen The Shining, but they're the only 2 films out of the Kubrick collection that I've watched, despite Stanley Kubrick, just from those 2 films being one of my, well, probably is my favourite director of all time. So, large running times on these films, so might take me a while to get through all of them. Sergio Leone classic, Once Upon a Time in the West. Huge fan of the Dollars trilogy, and I've heard brilliant things from this as well. Doesn't star Clint Eastwood, but I've heard it's still very good. Yeah, great western. I've heard actually on many lists that it even tops Good, the Bad, and the Ugly in terms of the greatest western film of all time, so I guess I'll have to see. The Beverly Hills Cop trilogy. I have seen Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, but I've never got round to seeing 3. Great film. Eddie Murphy's hilarious in it, and set in the 80s. Great soundtrack. Top Gun. Never seen this film, and I'm ashamed to say I've never seen this film, because I've heard it's like a pop culture classic. I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise, so that's probably one of the reasons I've never actually watched it. The soundtrack is fantastic. You've got Highway to the Danger Zone, Take My Breath Away. I'm just looking on the back of the box here, it's got a list. Heaven in Your Eyes. And yeah, just a great soundtrack. So yeah, I am looking forward to seeing this film. I'm not sure whether it'll be phenomenal, but from the soundtrack alone, it's brilliant. Okay, then we've got Alien and Aliens. I refuse to buy the third and fourth because I've heard they're absolutely terrible, so I'd rather just keep it to the good series, which are these two apparently. I did go and our first review was Prometheus, but I had never seen these films and I still haven't seen these films. So I thought I'd pick up the definitive editions, which have the director's cut on as well. For Alien, hang on, I gestured to the wrong one. For Alien, the director's cut is actually 6 minutes shorter, so that seems a bit strange. So I will definitely get round to watching those. RoboCop, another sci-fi classic, and one that I've heard is unfortunately getting a remake, which I don't think's really necessary. A classic I've never watched, so you know I've seen clips, so I know what it's about, but I'll get round to watching that as well. And finally, I've got Once Upon a Time in America, another Sergio Leone classic. One that's got a hefty run. Yeah, it's just 20 minutes short of 4 hours. So, yeah, it's a long film, but one that I'm really looking forward to seeing. It's a break from, because I've only really watched his westerns, well, only the Dollars trilogy. So it'd be good to see him tackle something else, which I've heard is also fantastic. Then lastly, we have the games. I have a PS3, so I got Assassin's Creed 3. I own all the Assassin's Creed games on the PS3 platform from the very first one. I haven't got around to playing it yet, so I've heard it's probably the weakest out of the series, which is a bit annoying, but you know, I'll play it for myself and see what I think. And finally, the eagerly awaited Mass Effect trilogy. I was tempted to get Mass Effect 2 and 3 when they came out on PS3, but I always held back because obviously Mass Effect 1 wasn't released on PS3 until now, so I thought my patience has paid off and they finally released the trilogy in all its glory on the PS3. So, yeah, I've heard great things about this, apart from the ending to 3, but I'm looking forward to playing this through myself and see what I think. So, yeah, that's basically everything I got for Christmas, all the films and PS3 games I got. Look forward to some of our reviews coming in January. As I said, I will get the final 2 parts of the Lord of the Rings marathon to you, as well as the Hobbit review. We'll get that done as soon as we can. Look for in January, it'll either be both me and Tom, those film guys review, or it'll just be me. January, I will be going to see Les Miserables and Django Unchained. Huge Tarantino fan, and I absolutely cannot wait for that. So, yeah, look out for those reviews in January, and I'll see you then. Thanks, guys.